Hey everybody! In today's video I'm going to be flipping through my passport size traveler's notebook that I use to document my trip to Magic Kingdom. And I made this little notebook because we're planning on taking our boys for the first time, hopefully this year. We've lived fairly close. We're only about an hour away, maybe a little less. But we wanted to wait until they were old enough to really enjoy it and to be able to walk on their own and to not whine the entire day. So I think this year is going to be the year. So we did a little like recon trip, I guess, and we went to go explore the things that we didn't have to wait in lines for, good places to take the kids to eat and to sit and to relax and just not have to worry about like seeing all the characters and riding all the rides and just exploring the park without like going to the main attractions, I guess. And so this is what this notebook kind of documents. So my mother-in-law used to work there, so she found a bunch of old ephemera for me, so I scanned a lot of it and I printed it and used some of it. So this is an old bag from the 70s, and you can tell that it looks like an old paper bag. So I scaled it down and put it in the cover. This is the title page. I still have to figure out how I'm going to label it, but these stickers right here, and I'll show you which ones are in here, I got at the park in a package. So I'll just show you the ones that are part of it. Here's one of them, and I've included some photos, and I put the date in here and a picture that I thought was really pretty of the castle in like this fantasy looking thing. I thought it was pretty, and throughout the book I'm putting hints. So the first hint was to watch the 11 a.m. parade on the second deck of the train station at the main entrance, because that's around when we got there. And we were exploring the train station when the parade came by, so we thought that was really cool. The second page is just about the train station and what the entire purpose of the trip was. This is some ephemera of old ticket books that I found online. You can just Google it and I'm sure you could come up with a bunch. But this is for the Magic Kingdom and not Disneyland over in California. So this is just a synopsis of what we were doing. Instead of walking through the park, we decided to take the train around the park first and get off in Frontierland and then Fantasyland. So that's what we did. And here is a picture of the train, another one of those stickers from the pack that I bought at the park. And this is hint number 2, to ask a conductor for a guest conductor card, which is this thing right here. And they will let your kids do something with the train. I don't know. She didn't specifically say what these are for. She just said to let the conductor know when you're boarding that you want a conductor card. And with that, they'll do something special with your kids. And then there's a sticker right here. And then we got off at Frontierland to get lunch and end up getting taken over into Tom Sawyer Island, which we think the boys are just going to love. In fact, we'll probably spend the better part of the day in this island for them, because I think they're the perfect age to really enjoy it. So I just found this old picture online. I printed it off, scaled it down, and attached the one picture that I took while we were over there. And then just wrote that this hint number 3 and 4, that Tom Sawyer Island almost never has a line, and you can ride over on the boat and explore for however long you want. They have picnic tables to eat lunch if you want, and we think the boys will really like it. And then that Frontierland has some really funky stickers, and to ask every cast member for a sticker. I asked mostly the cast members that were behind the counters when you were checking out, like in stores. But most, I'm going to say at least 90% of every cast member that you speak to will have their pockets filled with stickers that are based on the land that they are in at that time. So I thought that was fun. And then after we left Tom Sawyer Island, we actually went to go find lunch. And that brings me to hint number 5, that after we were wandering around, we finally found a place to eat, and it was in Tortuga Tavern. They have air conditioning and a quiet dining area in the back. That's a really nice, quiet, cool place to just relax instead of out in the sun or on the tables that they have out in the front. So that was nice. And this is another one of those clear stickers. And then I wrote down that Jack Sparrow does these performances outside. There's not a line. You don't have to, wait for it. We just walked by and you can just find a spot to enjoy his funny little show. And then I wrote down that we think that Splash Mountain, the kids might enjoy. If they do it, I don't think the kids would forgive us because it's kind of a steep drop, but they're 6 and 4.5, so they're like right there on the line, so we'll see. And then I just wrote down that I loved the decoration that they had when we got off of the train at Fantasyland, because we got on after lunch in Frontierland and took the train over to Fantasyland. We were trying to not do as much walking. We wanted to ride the train as much as possible just because we're old and we think that the kids would like the train. So we were trying to do what we would do if the kids were there with us, and we think the boys would prefer riding the train over walking through the park. So our next stop was, oh, hold on. Cover my husband's face. He doesn't want his face on here. We went to Pete's Silly Sideshow, which is over in Fantasyland, in like where the Dumbo area is. And I just wrote down hint number 6 that I'm pretty sure all the treat makers, if you ask them for a free sample of whatever they're making, they'll give you a free sample. This particular time they were making candy-coated marshmallows, which was just a giant marshmallow covered in chocolate dipped in M&Ms. I don't think they were meant to be given to us for free, but the lady gave them to us, and it was so nice and so good, and they were delicious, and we just walked around this giant round top eating our treats and grabbed a drink while we were in there, and it was just a lot of fun. They have a lot of really great souvenirs in there, and the atmosphere is really cool, so I really liked that spot a lot. So from there we moved on to the Dumbo ride. We think the kids will really like that one. I think they're the perfect size for that. Another piece of that ticket book, another clear sticker. And that I wrote down that Fantasyland has the best classic Disney rides, that they're in that little area, the classic vintage, the classic Fantasyland side is not too big. They have a circus theme and it's really fun. Once you go over into the new Fantasyland area where Beauty and the Beast is, and Ariel, and that whole new section, you're adding quite a bit of walking once you go to that side. But I mean, if you're into the princess, it's great. So here are more pictures I have to cover here. So we went over, after that we wandered over to like the carousel and the castle, and my husband took a picture trying to pull the sword out, and we saw we just walked by the Ariel's grotto and the Beauty and the Beast thing, and then we saw Cinderella's fountain, which was one of the things that we saw when we first went many moons ago that we really enjoyed. And another one of these tickets, and I did kind of cover it up, which is fine because all I wanted was Cinderella's golden carousel, because my husband is standing in front of it right here, which I thought was appropriate. So yeah, there's that. And then in the middle of the book, I just kind of roughly cut out a map. It doesn't show the entire park. In fact, all of Tomorrowland is cut out, which is fine because we didn't even go in Tomorrowland. And the front part of the park is cut out, and some of Fantasy, it didn't matter to me. I just wanted to get like the majority of some of the stuff in there. And then we have pictures here in front of the castle. I didn't put any journaling there because I thought the pictures kind of spoke for themselves. And then we spent some time kind of looking up at the castle and exploring, walking around it from different angles and different sides, and really just taking it slow and just trying to find places to sit. And there are a lot of places to sit around the castle in the shade and just relax, you know, because we've got smaller kids, probably not going to be bringing a stroller. We need them to be able to walk, and we needed to find places that they could just sit and chill and just relax. So this was a nice cozy little place. And on our way over here, we had gone over to Liberty Square to do the Hall of Presidents, which is a nice show. It's not super kid friendly. It's definitely an adult show, so I just wrote that down to kind of remember not to waste our time when we go back, and that we followed a school band parade over to the castle, which was fun. Then we decided to get some drinks at Starbucks and stood in a forever long line, but the drinks were actually the same price inside the park as they are outside of the park. So if you do the math, it's actually cheaper to drink at Starbucks, get water and like the refreshers, and you get a pick-me-up coffee, than it is to drink like the $4 bottles of water. If you're going to buy water, you can get it for free, but it's in a tiny little inconvenient cup. Or the $4 bottles of soda. I don't know how much the fountain drinks are if you actually go into a thing, because we just drank water most of the day. But anyway, that's my tip. And then once we got our drinks, we went over to Tony's restaurant, which is over in the front of the park. Actually, it's like right here. And they have a great sitting area and a movie that's playing in there, so you can just go sit and watch a movie and relax. So that's hint 7 and 8, that Starbucks drinks are cheaper and that you can go sit and relax inside of Tony's restaurant. And while we were sitting there, for another parade went by, so we got to sit there and watch the parade. And then at 5, they have a flag lowering ceremony that we sat and watched, and it was really remarkable. And we sat on top of the train station again, and the band actually comes up there and plays like the beginning music to let everybody know that the flag lowering ceremony is happening. And it was just really magical. It was really special, so we really enjoyed that. And that they have these, this stamp at the front of the park that you can go use. I stamped a million of them. So yeah, after that we got back on the train, since we were already at the train station, to find dinner, and ended up at the Country Bear Jamboree because there wasn't a line, and decided to just go ahead and check it out. Hint number 10 is that it is filled with adult humor. In fact, the entire thing was adult humor, and I'm so surprised that Disney hasn't removed it. Not that I am easily offended. In fact, it takes a lot to offend me. I wasn't offended by the show, but I was really surprised that Disney in today's world still has that show playing, because there was a lot of adult humor. So anyway, when we walked outside, they were dancing, and we thought that was really fun. The boys would like that. And then I just wrote some journaling about how we went to Columbia Harbor House for dinner, that we split a meal. That was hint number 11, to share platter plates, because it's usually enough to feed 2 people, and to always get a water cup because it's free. And that it was quiet and air conditioned as well, and off the beaten path, not a lot of people in there, so that was really good. Sorry if you can hear my boys banging on everything. And then after we ate, we decided to walk back over to the castle to find a place to watch the fireworks. So here I took a picture of Main Street at night and just wrote down that that park really comes to life at night. It's really magical, it's beautiful and lovely, and all the lights and everything. And then I took some pictures of the mailboxes and wrote down how much I loved it, and that they do this stamp at the front of the park. And then this is the end. It's just that we, at dusk and then after the sun had gone down, we found a great spot right in front of the castle. We got there at 5:50. We sat down on the ground with nothing underneath of us and looked at our clocks and realized it was 5:50 and that the show didn't start until 7. And we both knew that we were just not going to be able to sit down on the ground for over an hour waiting, and then for an hour for the show. So we just decided to just go home, and we'll get it next time. So just a synopsis that we had a really great time, and that we hope the boys enjoy it. And yeah, here is the button. They have these fun free buttons for all occasions, and I had my husband take it apart so I could put it in here. So that was kind of a fun little tip, and that each mode of transportation, the ferry, the monorail, the buses, they all have these transportation cards that you can ask whoever is there for some. And so I got one of the monorail cards. We took the ferry into the park, Magic Kingdom, but we didn't, they didn't have a ferry card. So I just got one of the monorail ones. And then just a sticker here at the end. And then back here, I cut out the entire map and folded it so that it would fit into the book. So all of Tomorrowland is in there, the front of the park, and all of the little sections are in there. So I thought that was really nice that it fit kind of nice in there. So But that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it. It didn't take me very long to do it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the hints. I'm sorry this was so long-winded and I was literally running through this, but the kids are home and I've got to film when I can and to get things done. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any requests for future videos, leave those down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.